2016, it's a new year, and I think we all should look at it in a positive manner in terms of thinking that, this could be your year. Last year, maybe you didn't find that guy that you're looking for, or, whatever your gender preference is. And this is a new year. I know a lot of people have these New Year's resolutions and they end up not doing it. And there's ways around that. It has to do a lot with discipline and things like that. But in this particular episode, in the spirit of, the way things are on this channel, it's all about finding love and finding out men's secrets. So it's having a very frank conversation. A lot of times guys don't tell you the truth. They tell you what you want to hear. There's a conflict of interest. Some guys are just trying to have sex. So they say what they think you need to hear in order for that, you'd have sex with them, whether it's they're gonna buy you flowers, tell you how beautiful you are, tell you that they love you. They'll say all kinds of things just to have sex. So I know it's difficult for you ladies sometimes to tell the difference between when a guy's being genuine and when he's actually there's actually an alternative motive. Ulterior motive, alternative, whatever. Anyway, so I look absolutely ridiculous, and I purposely started this video in the way that I did because I wanted to let you ladies get the full effect of, I'm just gonna start this video and start talking to you like everything's normal, no big deal, and basically act the way a lot of so-called black women act. And I'm going to go into a lot of details about that. So this is my full disclosure on, black and white are such arcane terms. It's 2016. It's kind of silly, but I only use those terms just because that's what everyone is used to. But clearly I'm not black. I'm brown and I'm an American, but that's for another conversation. So-called black women, or brown women to be more accurate, of all complexions, whether it's light brown, medium brown, dark brown, just brown women in general. First of all, obviously, one of the first things I wanted to talk about is the wig situation. So I'm pretty sure that most of you women that are watching this video right now, you probably think I look ridiculous. If you saw a photo of me looking like this on a dating website, you probably wouldn't select me. If you saw me with my real hair on a dating profile and we're supposed to meet up and I show up looking like this, probably going to be our first and last date. If you even go through the full date with me, you're going to be like, what's up with this guy? He's weird. He's wearing a wig. Why is he wearing a wig? Is he like what do you call it? Drag queen, or he has some kind of sexual confusion of what his orientation is, the down low brother, what's the situation? You're gonna think all kinds of things like that, and I believe I'm pretty accurate so far in my assessments in terms of that's how you ladies look at me. And one key element in terms of your perception of me, I'm pretty sure you're thinking that I look absolutely ridiculous, and I do look absolutely ridiculous. Clearly I'm wearing a wig, and clearly this is not my hair, right? This is not my hair. This is a Donald Trump wig, right? So now to you ladies, so full disclosure, how do I feel? I honestly don't see myself dating a brown woman. Now, unless she's Indian, that's different. But as far as what people would refer to as black, I don't see it. Because, and the thing about it is, I'm not racist. Absolutely beautiful. Minus the nose ring, beautiful. Beautiful. She's got way too much makeup on, but she looks great. Beautiful. Nice. Wow. She looks really good. She looks really good. I know some women are going to say it's because of her complexion, but it has nothing to do with her complexion. I mean, I do like her complexion, but her face, just the way her features are, cheeks, her chin, lips, nose, eyes, everything. I think people are caught up in this whole. Well, it's not to say that there's some people who are actually like focused on light skin women only or brown skin women that are really light complexion. But I think generally speaking, as humans, we all have our preferences. But I think people are totally wrong when they think that all brown skinned men are looking for, light skinned brown women, and they think they look better just because of their light complexion. And also that the pink complexion people are trying to look brown, like by tanning. But the thing is, there's a sweet spot that generally that we feel that we are attracted to as far as complexion, and it's in the middle. Generally speaking, we don't want extreme dark and we don't want extreme light. A person can be super pale, so a pink skinned person can be super pale and it's not attractive. That's why they tan. They're not trying to look black. They're trying to not look pale. Same as, people who are really, really dark complexion, they may try to lighten their complexion. But there's a difference between, you don't want to be super dark versus you actually would like to be, pink or what people call white. There's a big difference. So some people are trying to be pink, others are just trying not to be as dark. But to each their own, because I've seen, generally speaking, I don't like really, really dark complexion or really, really light complexion, but there are exceptions. I've seen some really, really beautiful women that are really super dark brown. So, see, people would think that this complexion is unattractive, but it's not the complexion. I don't think she would look much better with a lighter complexion. Again, I don't like the extremes, right? So the really dark complexion in this case would be a negative for me for my preferences. However, even if she had a medium to light tone, I don't particularly like her, and it's my preference, right? Like blue is my favorite color. What does that what does that mean? Like what's so special about blue? I just like it. I like what I like, right? Just like how women like what they like. The features are not, I mean, the eyes, just the whole package of just I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. And people again get caught up that because they're dark. It's not about that. I think for some people that are racist, they do look at it as it's a negative, but for me that's not the case. And see here you have an example of a woman who's fairly dark skinned. She's very dark brown, and she's definitely got some sexy going on there. I don't see a lot of makeup either. She's got the natural hair. This is the real deal. This is a beautiful woman. Now she looks really good. Just looks like maybe too much airbrushing going on. But she has nice features. It's not about the complexion. I like the smile, a beautiful smile, cheeks, chin, jaw, forehead, eyes. She's got the fake eyelashes. I mean, I don't know why women have to be so fake. I mean, she's a model. It's a little bit different, but yeah. If you come out on a date with me with this stuff on, and her lips are all blood red, like she got beat up by her man or something. That's like, yeah. This, nah. This is like you feel you're so ugly that you try to cover up what you really look like, and you can see she's pretty. She's got a pretty face. And I'm sure she could do a beautiful hairstyle like those other women, but want to do this European thing. And it just looks so fake. Not my thing. Looks ridiculous. So I realized that how you behave has nothing to do with your skin color, right? It's the individual. You can choose to be as classy as you want or as so-called ratchet as you want. That is on you. Unfortunately, a big part of that has to do with parenting. So it's hard for you to be classy when your mother is a ratchet, right? Or is ratchet. So I do understand that, but that's not my problem. I mean, it's a sad situation, but it's not my problem, right? We all have our problems. That's not my problem. If you as a grown woman recognize you know, the kind of negative influences you may have had from your mother or your parents, then you need to work on that. You need to work on changing your personality. Well, actually, I shouldn't say you need to. You need to work on that if you want to escape that element. I mean, if you want to date a thug, you want to date some player, and you want to be, you know, this kind of, you know, baby mama drama and all this kind of stuff, then, you know, keep behaving that way. And those of you who that applies to are probably the ones who are watching this video right now, and you're saying that I talk white or I sound white. I mean, that's basically a very ignorant thing to say. I'm just speaking proper English. You know, when I was growing up, I was taught to speak proper English. We are in America, and even though we don't have an official language, English is the major language that we speak here, and that's the language I'm speaking. So I'm going to speak it according to the way it's supposed to be spoken. When I speak Spanish, Espanol, I speak Espanol, you know, with a Spanish accent, the way it's supposed to be spoken, so people can understand me. When I'm speaking in Italiano or in Italian, same thing. I don't speak like I'm speaking American. I don't go, you know, in Italiano. You know, a lot of people do that, but I don't do that. Whatever language I'm speaking, I'm going to speak it according to the way the language is spoken. I know a lot of people have this confused racist ideas in their heads about, you know, like people, the white man this and talking like a white man and all this kind of stuff. It has nothing to do with skin color. It's a language thing, right? Regardless of what the skin color. Let's say I went to one of the countries in Africa, right? I'm gonna speak whatever language that is there. I'm gonna speak it in their dialogue, right? Or their dialogue, man. It's been a long day, a really long day. I got up at like 3 in the morning, so and it's nighttime now. I'm super tired. Probably shouldn't do this video now, but it's all good. So yeah, but anyway, if you're of that kind of mindset, then you have a lot to learn, and this video is probably not for you. Well, this video is not for you. This is not for you because you're not gonna understand what I'm saying. You're just gonna get upset and you're gonna go thumbs down the video and say how this sucks and I'm a sellout and all that kind of stuff, and that's fine. That doesn't bother me at all. Just a disclaimer there. But for the rest of you, maybe you're on the fence. Well, wherever you are on the spectrum, away from that part of the spectrum, again, I don't see myself dating a brown-skinned woman, not because of her skin color, but because of the predominant culture that most of brown-skinned women adopt. Now, they don't have to adopt this culture. That is by their choice. And again, it's very popular and predominant. So, for example, getting back to the wig, the odds of me finding a brown-skinned woman that does not wear a wig is absolutely, that's going to be really tough. And so let's address that. Some of you are saying, you know, why do I care about what you put on your head? Like, why does a guy care? And some of you, if you're really ignorant, you're thinking that I may be gay, you know, because I'm worrying about a woman's hair. And then you're the same women that'll say it's a man's world, right? It's a man's world, but yet a woman, like, I look ridiculous, right? And it's not because I'm a man. I mean, this is ridiculous. It doesn't look like my hair. It looks fake. It looks silly, right? So why is it that if I do this, I'm gonna get clowned? Women aren't gonna want to talk to me, and you know, there's tons of brown-skinned women. That's actually the norm. It's normal for brown-skinned women to not have her natural hair. And I'm supposed to just accept that and just be like, ah, okay. You know, I'm not on that same level. The same level that a lot of those women are on, where it's like, oh, society's, you know, we have to do this for society, or the culture, they expect us to, whatever, all kinds of excuses. I guess it's kind of a assimilation type stuff. I don't deal with that, right? And if you're gonna be my woman, you have to be on that same level to where you're not into assimilation. It's very ironic that some of these same women who would look at me and say that I'm talking white, they're actually assimilating, right? Because you're trying to have this European look. This is not how our hair looks, right? This is not our natural hair. This is sort of a European type of look that you're going for. Now, I'm actually speaking where, you know, if you speak English, I speak English. I'm speaking English the way it's supposed to be spoken. But this is not the way your hair is supposed to be. This is the way someone else's hair looks like or supposed to be. And you're basically trying to I guess, fit in, or you're trying to adopt the European standards of beauty or whatever. And that's on you. That's on your level of insecurity. You know, I'm not into adopting any kind of culture, right? I mean, my thing is, I take the positives out of whatever cultures, and then I ignore the negatives. I was actually born in a country that it's a third world country, and we actually have a lot of violence and crime and stuff like that in, you know, the country that I was born in. But there's also positives to my culture as well. I adopt those positives of my culture, right? And then I come to America, and America has positives of the you know, the common cultures that are here. There's also a lot of negatives as well, and I reject those negatives and I take just the positive. So who I am, and culturally speaking, is based on what I've seen to be the best, and things that I like from my culture of where I'm from, and also the American culture. So for example, parenting, you know, for my culture, we are more strict, and, you know, I said to behave and you're not behaving, so, you know, we're gonna stop and time out or whatever it is until, you know, you behave. That's it. American culture, it's kind of like, you know, you begging the child to, you know what I mean, and then if he just keeps acting up, just kind of like, I don't want to be bothered, you know, that kind of thing. Like that doesn't fly. That's not how you raise kids, right? You got to set boundaries, you got to be consistent. So I take and then the thing about it is, my culture has a negative with parenting as well. We can actually be a little bit too extreme. So yes, we're great with authority, like, you know, yes, I told you to stop and you're gonna stop. But then there's the, you know, sometimes there's hitting and a little bit too aggressive, shouting and yelling and screaming and all this kind of stuff. So it takes it a little bit too far. And then in America, I feel like it's too loose. So I take the best of the both. I take a little bit of the or a decent amount of discipline without getting violent and getting too aggressive. You know, always loving, firm but loving. And then I come to the American culture, and I look at the loving side of things. Like, they're not typically as aggressive as my culture would be, but then they're too loving and too, like, spoil the kids type of thing. So I'm in the middle. So that's the way I am. I'm not about adopting any quote unquote white culture or anything like that. I'm an individual, right? And if I'm gonna date a woman, I expect her to be an individual as well. I expect her to be herself and not just. There's also this stuff about you know, all this makeup and a lot of things, and it's like, oh, in the magazines, that's, who cares about the magazines, right? You think I care about the magazines? Right now, a lot of guys are starting to wear beards, and apparently women like beards. I think it's sexy. That's not for me. You know, if, you know, everyone starts wearing a beard, I'm not gonna wear a beard. Like, I don't care about that, right? And I need a woman to be on my level, right? And my level is that level where I'm not dictated, like, what I do is not going to be dictated by a magazine or what's popular on TV. You know, I realize there's a lot of ridiculous fashions, a lot of ridiculous things that people do that are very popular and very common. So I can't trust, you know, go with, you know, whatever is common or whatever is popular. I got to decide for myself, you know, what I'm going to adopt in my personal life. And I need a woman to be like that. You know, every woman doesn't have to wear earrings. Every woman doesn't have to wear, you know, face paint in 2016, you know. And even earrings, I mean, that's like from back in the jungle days. Like, you're putting a hole in your body. I mean, that's something I let slide. But, I mean, it is kind of a little bit backwards in 2016 to be putting holes in your body to hang shiny metal. I mean, it's 2016, right? But whatever. Excessive face paint, yeah, it's got to be in moderation as far as all the makeup and things like that. If it's excessive, you know. But what's a definite no-no for me is the hair. Like, because to me that says that you don't find yourself to be beautiful. And if you don't find yourself to be beautiful, you know, how am I gonna find you beautiful, right? I need a woman that's gonna have a good self-esteem, and also, it's funny, a lot of brown skin women like to talk about, you know, strong black women is a phrase, right? If you're so strong, then why are you adopting someone else's culture? And then why are you being so simplistic, where if someone says this to you, your statement is, you know, quote unquote, white girls do it too. You know, you don't see so-called white girls with afro wigs, right? And generally speaking, they don't wear wigs, they wear extensions, generally speaking, right? Whatever they do to their hair, it looks like their hair, it looks natural, you wouldn't even know it. But for me as a guy, as a brown-skinned guy, I don't care about race. I don't look for brown-skinned women. I look for women that I'm attracted to, regardless of what their skin complexion is. But generally speaking, whenever I see a brown-skinned woman, I look at her, and she may be pretty, and then I look at her hair, and she's got this on, and I'm just like, wow. And I turn right away. And I know a lot of you are gonna say, you know, oh, I don't care. That's on you. You're not my type of guy. Whatever. Yeah, of course, the feeling's mutual. So it's not about trying to make you feel bad or trying to talk bad about you, whatever. I'm just being honest, because a lot of women will be out there and say, you know, oh, there's no good man, we can't find any good man, and you know, all these guys, they just want to have sex and have babies, and then they just run off and stuff like that. Well, that's not how I operate. I'm very loyal, and I am pretty much all the stuff that women claim, most women claim that they look for in a guy. But I see you wearing this wig, and I'm turning away. I'm not, just again, why is it such a problem? Why is this such a problem? You know what I mean? Like, talk about it's a man's world. Why is it that you get to do something that I can't do? I can't do this. You will laugh at me. You will make fun of me. You will reject me. So why should I accept you? Unless you feel that you're the superior gender. You can do whatever you want, and then I just have to accept it because you're the one in charge and I'm just a guy, right? But we're supposed to pretend like it's a man's world, right? Is that how a man's world works? This is a man's world. Now, most brown-skinned women would have their natural hair, because I know most guys do not like weaves. They do not like wigs. We're just sick of it, right? So if this was a man's world, women would not be like that, because we would just be like, we're not having it. And the women be like, okay, what are we gonna do? You're the inferior gender, right? It's a man's world, right? We're in charge. How are you gonna rebel against the superior gender, right? If it's a man's world, if it's a man's world, then you got to do what we want, right? We want natural hair, right? But you guys have the power to rebel. You women have the power to rebel and do whatever you want to do. I, as a man, supposedly it's a man's world, but I can't do that. If I rebel against, like, for example, this, most women are not going to tolerate this, right? So I'm done. If I walk around like this, I'm never going to find a woman, right? No woman's not going to tolerate this. So who's calling the shots, right? Man's world, woman's world. It's not like a woman's world to me. Women are calling the shots. You're the one that tells me how I'm supposed to look. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't let women dictate, how I dress and things like that. I do take it into consideration. But generally speaking, I don't have any outlandish ideas or fashion trends or whatever. So, for the most part, it's not an issue. But I mean, if a woman has some weird, like she wants me to always wear slacks or something, I wear slacks. I wear two-piece suits to work, right? But I'm not gonna be wearing slacks all the time. And if the woman is like, oh, I don't want you in jeans. Jeans are for boys. You know what? I mean, I guess I gotta rephrase that. I mean, as long as the pants are comfortable. I mean, am I gonna, like, if I love a woman and she doesn't like jeans, as long as I'm comfortable in slacks, that's fine. But I'm not gonna wear something that I'm not comfortable with, that I'm not really down for, because of the woman. Like, if she wants me to wear something that's uncomfortable, like, I'm not trying to wear pink pants. Call me old-fashioned, whatever. I'm not trying to wear pink pants. But if she likes a guy in pink pants, we're gonna have a problem, because I'm not gonna walk around and feel uncomfortable just because this is what she wants. Like, there's a line. I will try to meet the woman halfway, but there's a point where it's like, okay, now you're asking me to be somebody that I'm not. I'm not this person, right? I'm this person. And that's the thing I think about how relationships should work. It's the woman is here, the guy is here, and the guy will get closer and closer and closer, like making little adjustments to kind of meet the woman halfway, right? She doesn't like that you're always having your friends over. She wants to spend more time with you. Okay, less time with friends. She doesn't like that you never call her back right away, right? You take too long to call her back right away. Okay, so I'm gonna try to call you back a little quicker, right? Now she wants you to wear pink pants. No, this is as far as I'm gonna go. Woman, same thing. Guy doesn't like you wearing a wig. I'm not gonna wear the wig because you don't need the wig, right? You realize that you're beautiful without it. Guy doesn't like you hanging out too much with other guys. So you do that as well. But at some point in time, it gets to the point where it's like, okay, guy wants you to have threesomes, and you're like, no, I'm not having a threesome. Sorry, this is who I am. I'll meet you halfway, but this is it. So there's always going to be that range in between the man and the woman, or the two partners, where you're not going to cross over any further, because if you go any further, you start to lose yourself, and you don't want to do that in a relationship. You always want to maintain some part of your identity, right? So that's it, man. I mean, I have no issues with skin color. Skin color is irrelevant. It's all about the individual. Because just like myself, I mean, there's a lot of people who look like me who definitely act very differently based on some negative cultures that they choose to adopt. So any brown-skinned woman can choose to adopt any culture. She can be classy, and she can be confident, and she can be actually strong, not just verbally strong. A lot of people talk about strong. If you're strong, you wouldn't be wearing this on your head, right? You'd be confident to stand out. You're not going to let other women dictate, how you should look or whatever. And I know many of you are going to be dishonest and say, oh, you're not doing that. You're the one that you want to have this look. But what does that mean? Why do you want to have this look? Obviously, you don't like how you look, right? Why else are you covering up your own hair, your own beauty? People look different, right? Different cultures, or different, there's different types of hair and skin tones and all this kind of stuff. And I think it's up to all of us to embrace our uniqueness. There's some very, very beautiful brown skinned women that no makeup, no wigs, no nothing, and they're just beautiful. And here's one reality as well to consider. I feel like, women think that they can fool us, but you can't fool us. If you're beautiful, you're going to look beautiful, whether you have makeup, wig, or whatever. I mean, obviously the wig is going to detract from your beauty, but what I'm getting at is you're not going to look beautiful because of your wig or because of your makeup. If you are unattractive, all this stuff doesn't change that fact. It's like you have an unattractive woman or you have an unattractive woman with makeup and a wig, right? It's still the same thing. You're beautiful with the wig, with the makeup, or without, right? These things do not make you look beautiful. So if I'm not attracted to you without your wig or without your makeup, I'm not going to be attracted to you with it, right? Think about, you have a really beat up car, and then you're going to go and you're going to try to fancy it up, and you put some new spoiler on the back or just some different parts on it. But I mean, it's still an old ugly car. If the car looks ugly, I mean, unless you're going to rebuild the whole thing, and have it done really, really well, because there are women who do that, right? They have like boob job and butt implants and the makeup and the wig and everything is so fake. That's the thing. Why would I want a fake woman? That's another thing. I'm looking for someone. Women talk about they want a guy who's honest and all this kind of stuff. You want a guy that's honest, but then you're fake, right? You're walking around with this on your head. This is not your hair, right? And the thing about it is, we can clearly see it's not your hair. So what is that about? I'm supposed to be confident, and I'm supposed to be myself, and I'm supposed to be honest with you and upfront with you. Meanwhile, you're hiding under the wig, you're hiding under the makeup, you're hiding under all these things. Again, say it's a man's world, but yet, most men, they give you what they are, right? It's funny, a lot of women will date a guy who's a player, and then they'll complain, right? They'll complain about this guy, say he's a player. but he'll be a player from day one. And I'll look at him like, can't you tell? And he's like, oh, he's so nice that he's buying flowers. Of course he is. He's trying to have sex with you, right? I mean, women tend to be oblivious to how guys are, but guys, it you know, it is what you get. Whatever you see is what you get. With a woman now, we don't get that, right? Because in this country, we are the inferior gender. Not that we actually are inferior, but that's how we're treated. We don't have the power. Women have the power, right? I mean, with me, I look for partnership. So no woman has power over me, and I have no power over a woman. It's a 50-50 thing. But our culture, women have the power, right? They're the ones who say, men, you should do this, you should do that, whatever. Like, we can't have our pants hanging down, right? You guys don't want to see, or you women don't want to see our underwear, you know, not on the street anyway, right? Our underwear and the pants hanging down and all this kind of stuff. And we have to meet your standard, but women get to do whatever the hell they want to, right? I know this is like two different topics in this video, but that's how I feel, man. I see a brown skin woman, and typically she's just too fake and too caught up in, I think a lot of brown skin women are embrace their cultures too much. I don't know of any culture that is, I don't want to use the word perfect because nothing is perfect, but I don't know any culture that has an overall like good, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say, you know, the so-called black culture is good. I wouldn't say the so-called white culture is good. This is a stupid term, but you know, that's the world we live in, man. We're just so backwards with so many things. I think that a lot of brown skin women adopt a majority of their cultures. So, you know, you'll see a whole bunch of them, and you won't get that uniqueness because every single one of them, almost every single one of them, tries to fit in to this culture, and the culture, there's a lot of negatives to it, right? The wig and all that stuff is just part of it. There's also the aggression, right? The very, very aggressive and loud, all the negative stereotypes. A lot of brown skin women, you know, fit right into that. They're supposedly strong, but yet they're not able to stand on their own. Like, everyone is doing this. This is what's expected. This is a cultural thing. But you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I'm not going to wear a wig. I'm not going to do all this stuff. I'm not going to be loud. I'm going to be classy. Right? But you don't find that. You find a lot of brown skin women that are actually weak. They're just strong verbally, but they're actually weak. Because, again, they just try to fit in. And they let magazines and things like that dictate how they're dressing, right? And that's not attractive at all. It's not attractive at all. So I'm sure there's gonna be more videos in the future that I'll be talking about this, because there's a lot to talk about, and I have a lot to say about it. And I'm gonna get a lot of hate in this video, a lot of thumbs downs, and but this is what this channel is about: telling the truth. You know, you can accept the truth and do something about it, or you can continue to be a follower and just trying to get this European look and not embracing your own beauty. That's on you, you know. But don't expect to ever end up with a guy like me that's going to be loyal, that's going to be mature, that knows what he wants, you know, all that stuff that you say you want. Don't expect to find a guy like that, right? Because we want more. We're not going to deliver on what women are looking for, and then the woman's just going to do whatever the hell she wants. That's not how it works, right? It's got to be a partnership. So you have two choices. You can do your own thing and be a strong black woman and end up with the thugs and end up a baby mama and just go on Facebook and complain about how men are crap or whatever it is. That's your choice. Or you can realize, like I realized, that there's a lot of negatives in your culture, and you can reject those negatives, and you can choose to be different. You can choose to be better, be classy, and be confident in your beauty, and stop being so fake and hiding under all this stuff. Be you.